And what if the last 3 months weren't typically reflective of typical business activities? You know, are taking some time away, or a multitude of reasons. Is there historically will they go back further? Can we look at a certain time period? How do they adjust for that?
As long as it's not too long a gap in terms of income coming through, but they can go back 2 or 3 years if they to see that there's been a consistency over that period of time, and if there's a reasonable explanation as to why that 3-month period wasn't so productive. And it's a plausible explanation. Well, the bank will accept that, yeah.
About forward planning though, if the business was expected to ramp up or a contract was set to drop that would increase earnings, or some sort of reason where you could see the business really starting to take off.
Ramp up.
What sort of documentation would they need to facilitate that?
Well, we could look at doing a cash flow and looking at the income that particular contract that you talked about coming through, or if we know that there's certain additional contracts in the works that are going to be coming through, we can actually cash flow that in over another 2 or 3 years just to see what impact it's going to have on the business, what sort of growth it's going to have in terms of bottom line profit and so forth. And the bank will take that into consideration, especially if you have written contracts in place.
And what about an accountant's letter? Would that carry weight based upon a verbal conversation that I say had with my accountant to say that in the future this scenario would occur and the business is going to grow?
Generally not. Generally they'll look at wanting to base it on things like, pre-existing contracts that you may have had in the past and that you've got coming through in the future. Generally that's what they'll look at, hanging their head on, as to speak.